no idea.
What is up, next level loan officers? I assume we're broadcasting in there, but you know what? We don't know. It's the lowdown on Friday afternoon. I'm joined by my fellow next level loan officer coaches. And listen, guys and gals, the lowdown is designed to give you a weekly digest of some mortgage content. We're going to talk all things mortgages. We're going to talk what's happening in the market, strategies, tactics, gossip, all things happening here on the lowdown on Friday afternoons. What's up, guys? How is everybody today?
What up, guys?
What's up, Kellen? How are you, bro?
I'm good. Sean, are you good?
I love those bricks in your office, man. It really pops.
It's very industrial, I think it's a very industrial look you have going on.
For a building that's 2 years old, it's very industrial. That's right.
You need to clean your office more often, dude.
That's right. So real quick, for those of you that don't know, we've got our main man from Seattle, Shane Kidwell. What up, Shane? Good to see you. And second, and always in the middle, our buddy from St. Louis, Sean Z. What's up, Sean Z?
How are you?
Good. And of course, and
that's it. That's it. We're good.
Certainly not least, straight from the squirrel-eating heartland of Longview, Texas, we've got Mr. Kenneth Travis.
Oh, I got my parrot today with me, guys. a little reminder. It's my reminder.
Yeah. Sometime when we are able to, we should tell that story, man. But not today. Not today.
Guys, we're here to talk about some hot topics in the loan officer world. Sean, why don't you kick us off with topic number one?
So, man, I think the thing that we need to start with most, and one of the things that is the absolute most important of what's going on in our world right now, is messaging. And that's in two separate formats. One, if you're looking at the mortgage application data, just in case you don't know, it's busy, double the annual volume for the already busiest time of year, busy right now. So, you guys busy? You guys closing some loans? Loans?
Really quick, because I'm curious, percentage wise, how much are you guys up? From where, because I know I'm typically, personal production, I would do, 10, 12 units a month on a good month, 8, 10, 12 units a month, right? And I've got 50 active deals. I know one of my coaching clients has 106 active deals. Where are you guys at today?
Busy.
And that doesn't include my team. I mean, we're completely overwhelmed.
Yeah, we're seeing almost 150% over where we were last year. Last month, we were 175% over where we were last year. So it's busy. And I'll say that we did more last month with a smaller team as well. So just to show you how different it is from last year to this year, those are how dramatic our numbers are. And I'm sure you guys are seeing the same thing as well.
Man, as of the end of July, we will, my branches will have closed more loans and more volume than we did last year. And my personal team is going to have closed more loans and more volume.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mentioned in my in my huddle group, I think last week or the week before, I said, listen to me, if you're not closing 10 refinances a month right now, if you're not closing 10 refinances a month, you are not a full-time loan officer working in the business. Guaranteed. I can't get through the day without an email, a text message, a phone call, a DM, something from somebody asking me if they should refinance. Is anybody else in the same boat?
Oh man, it's money in the streets. I can't. It's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. It's just man, things that I'm used to jumping on or having my team jump on really quick. It's taking me hours, if not a day, to just get to it. You know what I mean? It's just.
100%.
It's just.
I just had a conversation around. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say I just had a conversation with a client right before this call, and I had to say to him, I said, David, I love to be a 10, but right now I am a 7, and my support is probably a 6, and it's not for lack of effort,
Right.
And it is what it is. We're all going through that. So go ahead, Sean.
No, that's perfect, Shane. So like the messaging that we're telling our clients right now is so important. Like I know from my team and I know from my loan officers and the way that they're communicating right now, the people are saying, hey, listen, your refi, like it's going to take 60 days. You know what? And if we have to extend it after that, it's not going to cost you anything. Like,
yep,
that's just where we're at. And those loans are going just fine. But when, oh yeah, we typically close loans in 30 days. Yeah. On a purchase, we'll close it in 30 days for you. But on a refinance, no, man, I'm kicking that thing back. And, I've got a whole bunch of other refis that were submitted that we're working on and getting before then. And we got to honor the purchases. So it's just really communicating that message clearly up front so we can have a really kick-ass 7 experience, because it's just not a 10 right now. And volume doesn't allow it to be a 10.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that most of the mortgage industry is having capacity issues for you guys? I mean, do you think, even though like I think our company personally, and I know y'all's company, we're still getting things closed, but I think it's fair to say that no matter how good your company is, they're still not probably moving as fast as they traditionally have in the past, closing less business.
If you're not having capacity issues right now, you're doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, that means your rates are way too high, or you're not soliciting enough new business. I mean, you can trip on a rock and find a refi right now, right?
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah. So again, go back to what I said to my clients. I said, listen, guys, now is the opportunity, and we all have talked about this many times, right? Like now is the opportunity to build wealth. Now is the time to really put something away for when it's not like this, right? And we all know what's the opposite of this environment? Well, it's interest rates going back up. It's refinances vaporizing overnight. We've all lived through that to some degree. We all know it can happen. So you have to go out and gather up what you can now before that shift happens.
So one of the things that I just had a coaching call with one of my private clients this morning, and we were talking about how to communicate proper expectations and really how to have a good initial conversation with people. And that's so important right now. And I just wanted to share a tool that it wasn't my idea. It's all over the internet. You can find infographics of it. It's the cheap, fast, and good analogy. Have you guys heard this? It's like you can have 2 of 3, but you can't have all 3. You can have cheap and fast, but it's not good. You can have good and fast, and it's not cheap. You can have fast and what? Fast and cheap, and it's not good, right? And so when you have that conversation with a person up front, it changes the entire dynamic, right? Because all I'm saying is, hey, listen, we've all got different investors we can work with. If you're a broker, you got different banks you can work with. Hey, we can pick where you want to go with this. But the reality is you want a fast refi, it ain't going to be quick. Or excuse me, if you want a fast refi, it ain't going to be cheap. If you want a fast one, it's going to be expensive. Like that's just the reality of the game. But I really like using that tool with people because it's simple for everybody to understand. They go, oh, that makes sense. As I just say, hey, listen, Kellen, you pick 2 of the 3, fast, cheap, and good. Which 2 do you want? Let me go find the best investor for that.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, and to Sean's point earlier, a lot of these, on the refinances, we can afford to slow them down a little bit, right?
Sure.
As to not sacrifice the purchase business, which kind of brings me to my next point, as this was a conversation that came up as well, in terms of, man, what is the opportunity out there right now to go love on some agents who aren't getting the normal amount of respect and value that they normally get from certain loan officers, because those guys are dialed in doing refinances right now, right? So that's something that we're certainly focused on as well, is making sure that we're going out there and capturing some new folks to add to our bench that maybe we didn't have before, so that when the rates do change, our bench is built back up and we've got a nice group of realtors that are feeding us purchase business.
Yeah, it's a good time to be very picky about what you bring into your funnel of business.
Can you say that 25 more times?
It's okay to say no to bringing some clients into your funnel. And I'm telling you, we've been having this conversation with my team, and I'm like, guys, be very careful about the people that we bring in, because if they just don't fit if they're not the cream of the crop, and we get the cherry pick. Like, how often has that come around in the last 17 years I've been in the business? Maybe once. This is the second time, and I'm pretty stoked about it. And so we're back in positions that are kind of good positions to be in. Doesn't mean that you can't help people, but you can slow roll some other deals, and just have these very powerful conversations about setting proper expectations. I don't want to be dead horse. Shane just said it. It's money. It's just a way to be. So
Awesome.
I will say this, man. This is something else important, I think, to bring up is like, take care of the people that are on your teams, right? Love them. Take care of them. Make sure they're
pay them. Give them a little extra money.
Yes, because man, if you don't, they will find somebody who will. And there's a lot of people out,
well, it is hard to find good talent right now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And so let me just, because that's a point, Ken, that cannot be understated. And again, I'm not real sure where this is broadcasting to. We could be live at the Super Bowl or something right now.
Yeah, probably.
But if we're in the Next Level Facebook page, this is a really important piece, because what you guys can't afford to do is lose a key player on your team and have to go through the process of trying to hire new talent right now, because that will crush you. So what may cost you a few extra bucks to make somebody really feel loved and make them feel like they're meaningful and impactful on your team makes a huge difference. Because if somebody on your team were to leave right now, it could be really detrimental, and going out and trying to replace them might be even harder.
I'll tell you something. I'll
give you one little nugget, guys. Is like, and I've been doing this for probably 30 days, maybe 45 days. I buy lunch for my staff every single day. Anyone who wants to stay in the office and keep working, they stay. They get lunch bought for them. It's such an inexpensive way to squeeze another hour out of your people. And man, it's well worth a $50 lunch or however much it costs.
You had that idea, Ken, and I have a lot of several employees that work remotely, and I sent them Uber Eats gift cards so that they could have lunch delivered to the house. Yeah, that was a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, in addition to asking people to work overtime as well, like people who are putting in 8 hours on the weekend, I'm sending them a cash bonus on top of their overtime that they're getting on the weekends too. Just being like, hey, if you'll put in the hours, like, I appreciate you, and like, we need to make loans move. Whatever we can do to make loans move quicker.
We did profit sharing last month for our group, and it was just a portion of the proceeds I gave to every staff member, But I love it. I think that, you show people gratitude, and the right ones are going to take it the right way.
Sure.
Love that, guys. Love that. Cool.
Yep. So, around this messaging thing, like there's how we talk to our clients, how we talk to realtors, how we set this up for success. But if you've been involved in the mortgage world this week, there may have been some inappropriate messages, probably sent as a joke, but man, you got to watch out what you're doing these days, because anything that you send as a joke, man, the world might be a little sensitive, guys. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I think that the reality is that you have to ask yourself, would you want your mom to see that? And I wouldn't want my mama to see that. And then you have to say, really, would you want 50% of your audience to see that, or 100% of your audience to see that? Because we have such diverse audiences, and there's so much, and I live in the West Coast, upper West Coast. It's a very passionate, very liberal area. And I'm socially, I think I'm socially liberal, and I'm financially conservative. I straddle the line. And so for me, it's I don't want to alienate my audience because I like to go shoot a handgun on the weekends or something. So it's just, your marketing, your branding, you have to be aggressive, but you have to be sensitive to who are you probably pissing off outside of that. Sean, you had something we talked about earlier. I think you were going to share.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we were all meeting earlier today, so we're sending out some more realtor survival kits and delivering them to our realtors' houses next week. And one of the things we're putting, of course, some Sean Z Team koozies inside of there. And I was going to put some Corona beers inside of it.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Or pun intended.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. Pun intended. And there's a chance that I'm going to piss off 20 or 30% of the people that get it. And as we're talking, if you're thinking you're going to make somebody mad, you probably are. Yeah. We talk about, political views and stuff, and, not voicing them, not being inside there. If you got topics that are politically sensitive, don't go there. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to get some little fireball shots or little vodka airplane bottles and put those inside of them and be like, hey, this is for you. And if you don't want to drink it, you probably need to feed this to one of your clients. So, you know, if I offend somebody with that, I'm okay, but at least I'm not going down a path that is
destruction. Yeah.
Well, and let me say this too, just as a PSA from your homeboys at Next Level Loan Officers. So, you know, when we're all about the same age, except for Ken and Sean, which are much older.
Except for Ken and Sean.
Yeah.
But when we all grew up, thank goodness, cell phones, videos didn't exist, right? So cameras attached to a cell phone weren't a thing.
Sean would be in prison.
There's no doubt. And they are now, right? And most of us, 99% of us don't have, you know, issues. But the reality is, guys, is that you have to assume that anything that you're sending out, even in jest, could come back to bite you, right? And so, you know, just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're watching the news this week, you saw what happened. It's unfortunate. You know, I hope it's not a reflection of true character, but rather a poor mistake. But it's nonetheless a mistake that, you know, a price is going to have to be paid for that. So it's unfortunate, just, you know, and I think in our environment today, you know, just be Switzerland. Just be Switzerland. I'm neutral on everything. I don't, you know, if you want to go on Facebook and, you know, write up 4 paragraphs about your opinions, go for it. I'm not, but that's just me. So, you know, you do you, but just a word to the wise that, man, I always think about that. Any messaging I'm putting out, anything like that, it's always, you know, could this come back to get me? And you know, I kind of go from there.
Yeah, and good people say bad stuff all the time.
Sure.
Like, it just happens.
Agreed. Yeah, we all trip on our shoelaces, right?
Yeah, we all do it. And I'm probably the worst of us for it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, I'm the most emotionally triggered person in the group. Like, I will go one way or the other from 0 to 60 in a matter of 2 seconds. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that happens. And, you know, fortunately or unfortunately for the incident this week is it got really public really quick. And, you know, unfortunately there's some, you know, some repercussions there. So it is what it is. We're, please, you know, engage in some conversation. If you guys are watching this on Facebook, put some comments below. Let us know what you think. We'll comment, like, and subscribe back. But yeah, so here we go, guys. We're 20 minutes. We've covered a couple topics this week. Does anybody have anything else that's top of mind?
Man, I think that, you know, like, I think we touched on a lot. You know, be focusing on building your future business today. Be, you know, investing more time than you would typically invest for the gold rush. You know, love on your staff. Everybody's busy. So if you hear that the competition isn't busy, it's not true.
Right.
Or they're just not closing any other loans other than the one loan you're competing with. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys in a week.
Hey, awesome. Get out there and get 10 refis, everybody.
10 refis, go trip on a refi.
They're like falling out of the sky. So go grab a couple.
All right, everybody.
This
See
is
you guys.
We'll see you next week.
See you guys.